Hi everyone, it's me, Lauren Cadillac. Good morning. It's Friday, April 12th, and we are rounding out the final day of the week 17 of the Young Thug RICO trial. And boy, was this week fun. I must say that I have been enjoying the witnesses on this trial quite a bit. We're going to get into all of it, so let me not get carried away. I am a Texas lawyer. I don't practice criminal defense, but I do practice in a courtroom. I'm a litigator. I do civil work. So I've been recapping this Young Thug trial since before it began, and we are finally on week 17 of presentation to the jury. Now, I wanted to bring up, and importantly, the longest trial I had ever witnessed in my entire life was the O.J. Simpson trial, which took 9 months. I was in junior high. I want to say 7th grade, but it could have been 8th when that trial concluded. And I remember I lived in Phoenix, so the Phoenix local news played the live chopper chase of the Bronco, and then when I was in school, the jury read its verdict, and our teacher stopped our class. Maybe it was 8th grade, I don't know. Anyhow, those years start to blur together as you grow older, and it turns out that O.J. Simpson, that trial, which lasted 9 months, by the way, he passed away yesterday. So rest in peace. Maybe Nicole can have a discussion with you. We're not here to talk about OJ and whether or not he did it, but I have my suspicions. We're here to talk about Young Thug and whether or not he did it, and whether or not the DA in Atlanta is proving if he did it. So I want to thank you all for being here. I am not giving legal advice. I'm not creating an attorney-client relationship, okay? Now, I do listen to your feedback. I am trying to get better every week. Hopefully the sound is better. It's hot here, y'all, though, so the fans are a necessity. All right, and I took notes. I've been taking notes, you guys. There is trial today at noon. So, beyond just watching this so that I can recap it to you, I am actually obsessed. And I watched videos about this over the weekend and whatnot, and I saw one where it was, I don't know if it was a political ad campaign or what, but it was a video about Judge Glanville, and it really felt to me like a video ad campaign. But another YouTuber was streaming it, and he is still in the military. Okay, so that veterans court he has on Fridays has to do with his military service that he's still doing. I'm sure he's on reserves or whatever that is, but he's been 30 years in the military. Toothless Tiger has joined us today. I'm so glad to see you here again. Thank you. I was absolutely shocked to have people in the live last week. It was great, and it was so fun to chat with you. And then I got over 4,000 views on the video, and I was so excited. So thank you everyone who's come to watch, and welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so Judge Glanville does this veteran court thing. I don't know what that is necessarily, but I believe it's actually military court in his courtroom. All right, so he has that this morning, and so they're doing the late start on Friday. Now, the reason I started recapping on Fridays is because when they first got in front of the jury, the judge said we're going to work Monday through Thursday, and we're going to have Fridays off as an administrative day. And so I thought, well, that'll be perfect. I will stream my update on Fridays, right? Well, now everyone's so upset about the behindness of the case that they're working on Fridays. So I have to tell you about what happens on Fridays when I see you the next week. Now, last Friday we ended off with Archelian, whatever her last name was. Y'all. On Monday, I don't know if you remember, but when this Archelian, whatever her name is, came to testify, the prosecution made this big hoo-ha about she can't be seen on camera. And of course the defense objected and was like, she should be seen on camera. So this whole time, they're not showing her on camera. And then on Monday, they show a video of her on camera. I was like, what was the point of all that time you argued about how she shouldn't be on camera? What was the point of the potential violation of the accused's rights when you just ended up showing her damn picture on the freaking video anyhow? I swear, the incompetence. All right, I want to also make something very clear. When I'm talking about these lawyers, I don't know them personally. What I'm talking about is the work they're doing in this courtroom. I myself, in a courtroom, am not the same person I am at home, and I'm not even the same person I am in my office, okay? So we can, when I say these things about you, I'm talking about in the courtroom. I don't know them. I'm not making judgments on them. I don't know who they are as people. So like last week I said it would be a nightmare to have Miss Love as a mom. Now, if her behavior in the courtroom carries out into motherhood, then that's what I mean. Then it would be a nightmare. So I just want to make that very clear. Okay. Toothless Tiger, thank you. Yes, her name was Miss Bennett, or Chilean Bennett. And they fought tooth and nail, Toothless Tiger, they fought tooth and nail to keep her picture out. And then they show a video of her. Oh, and she's doing all these signs, and they're like, oh, she does like this or something. I don't know any of the hand signals, but she does something, and then they go, what is that sign? And she goes, oh no, it's like this, I think. She goes, it's a bird. I love the witnesses in this case. Oh my God, they're amazing. They are hilarious. Okay, so on Monday, I wrote down 1 hour 21 minutes, so good. And then I put 1 hour 29, Quinn comes back. All right, so they finish with Archellian Bennett and they move on to Quinn. So I have the machine to put us at 1:20 when I put so good. And so we're gonna see why I thought this was so good. I don't remember, because this was on Monday. And thank you to Law and Crime. We are not, we are using this in fair use, and I'm teaching folks about the court process, etc. So here we go.
Would you be able to find that voice text on that phone?
Probably. No, I'm not sure. I should, if it was sent at this time.
And when you're saying at this time, are you referring to the voice text sent on February the 6th at 5:46 p.m.?
Yes.
So if there were any others, would they also be on that phone?
Yes.
And if there are any others, would you let us know at some later time?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would like to play what we will label as State's Exhibit 34 Alpha Alpha Bravo, which has already been tendered as a part of State's Exhibit 34 Alpha Alpha, which is the voice text that is referenced in this exhibit.
Any objection to State's 34 Alpha Alpha?
Your Honor,
Okay. So here we go. We're about to get into it. This is YSL Adams, aka Keith Adams. I wonder if YSL Steele and YSL Adams, my peers, fellow attorneys, heard me calling them that, if they would be upset. I hope not. I mean it as a compliment. I mean it as a term of endearment. Okay, so here we go. YSL Adams has made an objection to hearsay.
we tendered it at the prompting.
That was intended doesn't make it any less hearsay.
Your Honor,
Whose phone call was it?
Your Honor, it was Lieutenant Hamilton's phone call that Mr. Adams said they had no objection.
I'm objecting to hearsay.
We
That's
tendered
your
it,
objection now.
and it was admitted as evidence. I'm sorry, if I may finish.
Exhibit may be in, but it still has hearsay within it, which is not admissible. The fact that it's been admitted as an exhibit does not make that portion admissible. That's my objection.
Okay, so there is a recording or something. There's a recording that has this other person's writing or sound, voice, whatever, within it. So the recording is already in evidence. What Mr. Adams is saying here is, I am objecting to the specific portion of this recording because that specific portion is hearsay.
Your Honor, we hold.
He's correct. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Glanville is basically like being an evidence professor. Like, he's correct. He is correct. It's hearsay. Hearsay is an out of court statement used to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Not the truth of the matter at hand, but the truth of the matter asserted. So we're asserting that right now this went on. That is what hearsay is.
Ms. Bennett, while we were speaking earlier, you talked about your apartment, 980 Confederate Avenue, apartment D, facing Confederate Avenue. Did I get that correct, or am I wrong?
Yes.
And so,
Okay, so now she continues to go on. Miss Love drives me nuts. Oh, here she is. Here's the video. There she is doing the dove. Hold on, here we go.
what are those hand gestures meant to signify?
I'm not sure.
Ms. Knight, would you please back up about 3 seconds and freeze it on the hand gesture where she has both hands up? Back up first.
By the way, making hand gestures is not illegal.
What is that meant to signify, Ms. Bennett?
A bird.
She said a bird. I just love these witnesses, y'all. I love it. Toothless Tiger says these state's attorneys and the judge does not seem real. They're horrible and corrupt. Every young person should be made to watch this. I hate to break it to you. This is the behavior that happens daily in courtrooms across the United States of America. Like, if you don't like it, then you need to go to law school. You need to start voting accordingly, you know? So, welcome to America, folks. What did I say here? 1 hour, 29 minutes. Hold on, let's go back. Who was on the stand?
Bush on the corner of the building to the left. Ms. Knight, would you put the hand over the bush? On the corner of the, no ma'am, to the left of the, yes. You see that bush?
Yes.
Ms. Knight, would you zoom in on that bush? Close as you can. All right? And now go to State's Exhibit 46, Alpha Alpha.
All right, Chris says, I thought the slide with gang clothes titled in large bold font across the top that Brian Steele had a sidebar to redact was ridiculous to show. I agree. They did that though. They already busted open their case and greatly made a mistake when they did the same thing with a PowerPoint in their opening that said Brian Steele was representing someone on appeal, and the judge had already made a ruling that was excluded. Right then is a mistrial. These people are, they're erroneous. But here's the thing, if you are like, oh, this is just in Fulton County, oh, this is just in this courtroom, this is just a one-off, think again, folks. The reason defense attorneys are so important is because we need to defend ourselves against the government. Our Constitution was written because our founding fathers knew that people generally cannot be trusted and that people will come into power and they will take. And so our founding fathers wanted to make sure that our government wouldn't do that to us. Everyone has a right to a fair trial. And you can see that people don't actually get fair trials. This is how it happens every day in every courtroom across America. Now, I'm sure there's some courtrooms that are a little more organized or follow the letter of the law a little better. But this kind of stuff is going on, especially when it comes to prosecution.
And would you zoom in on the numbers behind that bush in State's Exhibit 46 Alpha?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Remember I mentioned last week or the week before that Miss Love will just beat the dead horse. Like, she must make the point. Her point must be made. Right now, she's doing that again. It is ridiculous. This woman said she didn't know the address, and now she's like, well, zoom in, and can you read the numbers? It's just too much, man. Like, it is just, you're doing too much. It's quite annoying. I can't stand it. All right, let's see. So then we take a break. Now Keith Adams comes up. Gosh, I love YSL Adams. He is a great cross-examiner. Let's see how he does here today. Let's go.
Is there anything in any of that video, anything, that has anything whatsoever to do with the 2013 incident you've been asked questions about?
No.
Is there anything about you wearing red, throwing up whatever kind of signs, or whomever it is you're with in that video that tells us anything about what happened in 2013?
No.
I stand question.
So he's basically saying that video we just saw was irrelevant.
Ladies and gentlemen, you disregard the
It's so many questions. Now, I cannot tell you how much of a trial is actually just paperwork being shuffled. That sound you hear constantly in the background of paperwork being shuffled, that is the sound of trial.
And you're agreeing that February 7th, 6:45 p.m. is when you received the text. Hit me up if you're bored later. We're not.
That's the sound of trial, y'all.
Okay.
You know a trial is heated when you hear paperwork being flipped through
Whether
fast.
you spoke with
Okay? You could tell if a lawyer's got something up their sleeve. You start to hear like frantic digging.
Yes, it's a close-up
You're in
of the
trial.
apartment.
You're in trial. You hear frantic. You know. Oh shit. Here comes an exhibit. Here comes an exhibit that completely contradicts whatever this person just said on the stand. You know, if that's your opponent, you're like, oh shit. But that soft noise of paper rustling, that's trial, y'all. Okay, so then we had a gal who takes photos of crime scenes. Here's a photo she took the night of this alleged Mother's Day robbery that our Chileans with. Okay, then someone took a photo of this picture, phone.
What kind of cell phone was it?
Metro PCS Samsung.
I think this is
Whose cell
DJ,
phone was it?
aka Walter Murphy.
Your Honor, I have a response. It's not hearsay who she means. She took this photograph for a reason, so it's not no truth of the matter certain whose cell phone she believed it was. But I need to know.
Okay. Now here comes back Quinn for his cross-examination. Now, mind you, I can't stand Quinn. I think he talks out the side of his mouth literally. I think he's skeezy. I think he's putting on
Your
an
Honor,
act, and I don't
course
like
commission
it.
starting at 822.
Yes, sir.
Sending a green Tundra, it's the owner of the laundromat, green Tundra, coming up to the Frank station. Yeah, let him through. His name should be Khan, I think. Hey.
All right, that was it. That was Monday. I don't like Quinn.
Let him
He's
up, let
done.
him up here.
They're done with him. All right. Not that exciting. Now, Tuesday, no, I'm telling you, the comedic value of this trial has been off the chain, and this is, today we're about to see that, okay? So, Thank you for everyone that's here. Thank you for everyone in the chat. You look this low-key. K-Way, I don't know what you meant, but thank you, maybe. Apparently one of my son's friends saw my stream last week and was like, oh, it's so cool that your mom is like into that. And my son was like, she's kind of low-key ghetto. He's not wrong. I got a little ghetto streak to me. It's okay. All right, so now we go into Tuesday, which is day 56. And Thug is wearing what I consider to be one of the ugliest sweaters I have ever seen. I don't think I would mind the sweater if it didn't have this texture, but oh my God, the texture of it is awful. All right, and then we have basically America's father, like the most normal looking dude ever. As a detective, he does not at all follow the MO of any of these detectives so far, telling us about he was the one who investigated the Archillian Bennett incident. Okay. All right, so here we go.
She's walking in now, Judge.
Oh man, I've been on mute. I'm guessing the sweater is Gucci, but I do not like the sweater at all. Okay, so Thug wears an ugly sweater, and then here comes Dad. Here we go.
Zone, it was at 2025 Hosea L. Williams, and the same place it's currently located.
And in 2013, where was the Zone 3 precinct?
880 Cherokee, at the zoo, right next to the zoo.
And about how far approximately was the Zone 6 precinct?
Like, we have seen at least like, I don't know, 10, 15 employees, different employees of the Atlanta PD, different detectives, all that, and none of them have looked like your neighbor, Mr. Rogers. A little heavier version of Mr. Rogers. And then we have this guy, and I don't know why, but he cracks me up. But honestly, he, to me, so far is the most trustworthy person that's spoken. He's so calm. He's dressed like a dad. And I think it's awesome. I think he just makes me laugh.
Precinct from the Zone 3 precinct.
All right, so blah, blah, blah. He
4
tells
miles.
about how Miss Bennett
The day
came to
prior.
him. Miss Bennett told him about this
So-
incident. He, through his testimony, basically the police report they were reading from Miss Bennett over the last few days, he just testified to it. It really wasn't that exciting. His cross wasn't that exciting either.
Right?
Yes.
And I want to go through it piece by piece, but she gave you an account of what she said happened on 12, right?
Yes.
All right. Now,
Okay, so now YSL Adams
You
is
go back
cross-examining
to-
him.
980 Confederate Avenue with
Let me tell you, it's a damn miracle that yesterday we got 3 witnesses. Today we're getting 2. I mean, this is super fast moving compared to the past.
her.
I did.
It's you, it's Ms. Bennett, it is the child that is with her, and it is Francine person
Blah, blah, blah.
on the door. And
Crime scene, blah, blah, blah. Like, we don't actually know if it happened. She said it didn't happen. He's talking about when she came and reported it. We don't know if it happened. Here's my favorite.
I understand, Your Honor.
Why
I just
is
want
Phil
to bring it
Shard?
to the court's attention.
All right, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
like
we're in
that sweater.
recess. Give me 5 minutes.
All right, so they go on a recess, and then they hear a 911 call.
And if you move the sliders a little further down where it has Unit 21 LC at 10:51 p.m., can you explain for the jury what that indicates?
What line are you on?
Okay, so that's a 911 call of an incident that happens with Walter Murphy, aka DK, and she's just kind of starting warming the jury up to DK's testimony, basically. All right, and then after her comes another witness who we're not allowed to see, and is hands down the funniest witness. So we got 3 witnesses on the stage. Freaking miracle. All right, here we go. This is the funniest witness.
Your Honor, I'm showing defense counsel what's marked as 54 Bravo Bravo.
I also feel like Quinn was a liar, Toothless Tiger. So I definitely agree with you. It's just total. He seemed so scummy. Like he talked out of the side of his mouth, and I did not like it.
Your Honor,
All right, let's see if we can get some questions to.
54 Bravo Bravo.
This witness is D'Angelo White, is his name.
Ms. White, do you recognize 54 Bravo Bravo?
That's the sicko on John Road.
Is it fair and accurate depiction of the sicko that we were just talking about?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, the state
That's sicko.
States Exhibit 54
That's
Bravo
sicko.
Bravo.
Well, first you gotta get it.
All right, so this guy.
So,
We were just talking about on the right in that photograph.
Yeah.
Now
This witness
I'm
is
going to
in a jumpsuit and chains. Okay,
show
you can hear his
64
chains
Bravo
jingle
Bravo.
every so often.
Do you recognize 64 Bravo Bravo?
Why is I'm here, man?
Ms. White, I'm just asking you.
Why is I here, man?
I don't pose to be here.
I don't pose to be here.
I don't pose to be here. I pose to be in Changang prison. I don't even know why I'm here. This ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't even know why I'm here.
Ms. White, why do you not want to testify? Talk about anything today?
Because I'm in prison.
This ain't got nothing to do with me.
hold on, Mr. White, 1 second. I'm gonna overrule your objection, Mr. Matthews.
The dude is in prison. He doesn't want to testify because he doesn't want to be a snitch. He wants to be able to go back to prison and sleep at night.
Acid answer was his objection, and I've overruled it. So you can answer the question, sir. Counsel's question, okay?
Ms. White, why do you not want to talk here?
Cause this don't have nothing to do with me. This is not my case. I'm already doing a 10-year bid. That I'm doing 2 armed robberies and hijack. This don't have nothing to do with me.
I understand that, Mr. White.
I love these witnesses.
With that photograph,
Got nothing to do with me.
do you recognize the roadway in 64 Bravo Bravo?
No.
He doesn't recognize the road.
Have you ever looked at that photograph before and recognized it?
No.
You
I
recognize
don't
the
supposed to be
sicko.
here. I'm gonna keep telling y'all that.
I'm not supposed to
Ms.
be.
White, I understand that, Ms. White. So you're saying that you've never seen that photograph before?
No.
You've never are familiar with it?
No.
Maybe Ms. White. I'm going to show you 65 Bravo Bravo. Have you ever seen 65 Bravo Bravo before?
With all due respect, man, I'm ready to go back to prison. Yeah.
He wants to go back to prison. He'd rather be in prison than doing this.
I understand that. I'm asking you, do you recognize 65 Bravo?
Yeah, I thought Tick was fun. I thought Adrian Bean was pretty fun. I thought Miss Bennett was kind of fun. This guy, he is my favorite. So far, he is my favorite. Hands down, to me, this is comedy. This is pure comedy.
What do they got to do with me? D'Angelo White, what they got to do with me?
He said D'Angelo White.
Can you just take a look at 65 Bravo Bravo? Just tell me if you recognize it.
Hey man, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm ready to go back to prison.
Ooh.
I understand that, Mr. White. I'm just asking you to just take a look at that photograph. Just let me know if you recognize it.
You disturb me. I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm just trying to finish my 36 months out of 10 years and go home. Feel me? I don't supposed to be here.
I understand that, sir.
I love this.
I'm just asking.
I don't
you,
supposed
do
to
you
be here.
recognize the roadways in 65
Toothless,
Regardless if you want to be here.
DK, and
So
D'Angelo
you're
are
gonna
great.
force
We're
me
gonna
to
get
be
a
here. Y'all
DK in
gonna
a
force me
minute.
to be here.
Oh, this D'Angelo White is a
Do
comedian.
you recognize 65 Bravo?
I don't go to be here, man. I'm ready to go back to prison. You keep telling y'all that.
You want to approach briefly?
Okay, hold on. So he goes on. He says, "Hold on. I hope we can get it here. Not supposed to be here. Not supposed to be here."
Juan and myself met you for the first time. We talked about it a little earlier.
I don't know that dude. I just seen him do one time. That don't mean he's my friend because I met him one time.
Well, you do know something by the name Plea.
Met him one time, but I don't know him.
And is it true or not true that when I met you, never talked to you before, my lieutenant, you remember a time that Plea got shot?
No.
Now, have you
Obviously, he's lying. I mean, you would remember a time your friend got shot. Like, if my friend got shot, I would remember that.
ever been, so, Mr. White, do you recall looking at photographs of individuals that you were familiar with growing up? Lieutenant Baker and myself met you.
No.
Do you remember recognizing someone you knew was Neil? Isn't that correct?
No.
Do you remember recognizing someone you knew as Crucial? Isn't that correct?
No.
Have you ever heard of Club Crucial?
No.
No.
You never heard of Club Crucial, Mr. White?
Mm-mm.
Look, this man doesn't care. He can lie on the stand. He's already in prison.
I don't go clubbing.
So,
Oh,
do
go
you
club.
remember when I met you there with Lieutenant Oliphant that I asked you, is it like Club Crucial? And you were like, yes, your friend named Crucial. Do you remember that, sir?
No.
Do you remember a blue Ford Escape photograph that we showed you, my investigator?
I remember because you showed it to me, yeah.
Well, when I showed it to you, do you remember talking about
I just love this
that
guy.
vehicle?
Oh, he's like
No.
mean and
Do you
sassy
remember
and very disinterested.
Lieutenant Baker and I that
No, we had just heard him on the 911 call, so we know this incident occurred and that he
You
called
gonna keep trying to
911.
make me remember something like this is not my case. I'm keep telling you that, man. This is not my case. I don't hold to be here, man.
Mr. White, your first name is D'Angelo, is that correct?
You got me here?
The state's going to play State's Exhibit 2.
These lawyers who did not just like completely crack up while this guy was yelling, more power to him, because I would have been. I can't contain myself. I think he's hilarious. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Now, D'Angelo White comes back on Wednesday, and he's just as funny, but he's a lot nicer to YSL Steel. All right, I took notes, you guys, because I am improving. I'm learning. All right, Young Thug is wearing a beautiful sweater. That was the first thing I wrote. I really like his sweater on this day. Shit. Sorry, hold on. I just clicked the wrong button. Oh, man, I just ruined my whole life. The Young Thug is wearing a really, really nice sweater. I'll show it to you in a second. This is day 57. Then, let's see. Okay, Mr. White, he won't answer. He apparently was a witness to a car accident while he was at a gas station. And he says he doesn't remember. And then Walter Murphy comes on, so that's very exciting. Walter Murphy is DK. DK is the guy who was with Young Thug when they robbed Miss Bennett, allegedly. Oh, yeah, and then the judge gets really mad at everyone, and it's very funny. Okay, just to point something out, we haven't heard it yet, but we will hear in a minute.
In between that time, I had
sorry about
like
that.
Gang Rapport too.
D'Angelo White burps a lot on the stand. Like a lot. I don't know if that's because they like gave him a soda before or what it is, but he burps a lot on the stand. And then so does Walter Murphy in the coming days. And it's like really bizarre to me. The weirdest thing is that they're burping like right into the mic. And it's like, oh, hello. So impolite. But as we see them, you'll understand that they are not really worried about politeness. Okay. This is the sweater. I love this sweater. This is a beautiful sweater. Until he stands up, he's not got the fitness level to be wearing sweaters like this anymore. Poor guy. All right, so this is Wednesday, day 57. Beautiful sweater.
And you're saying
We got D'Angelo White back on the
You're on
stand.
page 3 on the far right, top left photograph.
Not my signature.
Okay.
And
Now,
he's
Mr.
still
White,
trying
also
to
wanna show
avoid
you
testifying about this
the
thing
last
that
page,
he
page
witnessed.
6. You see this photograph?
And quite
The bottom
frankly,
left, that's
you know, if I call 911 because I see an accident and then like 10 years later I'm called in to testify about it, I'm going to be irritated too. I'm not going to lie, that would irritate the shit out of me. Okay, like, it was 10 years ago. You have my 911 call. Play that. Like, don't take my time. Now, he's in prison, and it says something, would someone rather be in prison than in this courtroom? And what it says to me is that the people of Fulton County, or so the prisoners of Fulton County, the criminals of Fulton County, do not trust the police or the DA. And so far we've seen for good reason.
in 2015, you would have been 18, right? So, Detective Dennis, when you spoke with him in the car, he asked you how old you are, and you said you were 18 years old, right?
I never spoke with nobody. You keep trying to put me on the case. I cannot help you.
Detective Gaither, Ms. White, yesterday you said you went to South Atlanta, right, for high school? Detective Gaither asked you where you went to high school, you told her South Atlanta, right?
I mean, everybody who's staying late will go to South Carolina. That's just it is an area code. Cleveland Avenue, that's you gonna go to South Carolina.
So the D'Angelo White, who was 18 on first day of probation.
He's just so irritated by being there.
You the car that day?
I probably wasn't even in school then. I've been dropped out of school. I was going to try to turn to school.
Now, Mr. White, you were on first day of probation at Plea County when this happened, right?
Yes.
And when you met the detectives in the car, told them that you got out of
Okay,
Plea
Doug
County.
is tired. Rumor has it, what I've heard is that they being the guards at the jail, do not turn off the lights for Thug at night. And so he is really unable to sleep. And if that is true, that is actually in violation of the Geneva Convention. So it's pretty gross for one American to do.
Excuse me. The dude right here lying, man.
All right, so Mr. White.
If I keep telling you I met the man one day, how the hell you get from I know him 3-4 years, man?
Mr. White,
This shit ain't even adding up. This shit put together like goddamn Legos or something. What you got going on, man?
Mr. White, in the car, when they started showing you the photographic lineup, you said there's only
I love it.
person.
I don't feel like this young man, the prosecutor's doing that great. I don't know why they didn't have this love do it. Maybe because the jury's sick of her like we are, but I don't know.
You can't, right? Those are your words when you look at the photo line, right?
I don't know who that is. I don't know how I know DK because you keep saying DK and Walter Murphy is the same person. You saying it, not me.
Mr. White,
Okay, so Walter Murphy is a co-conspirator in these indictments, but he took a plea deal.
recognize the picture of
He took a plea deal, but his plea deal is sealed. So his defense attorney, on a video live on a news thing where they interviewed Walter Murphy, his defense attorney said that he was a mentee of Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis is the elected DA in Fulton County. She's relatively famous for going on the stand about her alleged affair with some guy she paid to be a special prosecutor. Anyhow, she ran, as I understand it, on this like anti-gang thing. So what I'm understanding, I'm beginning to understand now, and no thanks to the prosecution, by the way, is that Atlanta is actually plagued with gangs, that the gangs are in the suburbs, like the gangs are absolutely everywhere. And so like Fannie Willis ran on this anti-gang thing. All right, so that's how we end up here. That's how you find Young Thug. Boleyn, my coworker, and I, we kept thinking, like, who did he piss off? That's where how we get to Thug. Okay, we get to him because Fannie Willis runs on this I'm gonna get the gangs ticket, and he's an easy, large, viable target, and it sends a message to everyone. Hey, this is someone you know, and we're coming after him. We're coming after this group. We're gonna come after all of you. That's how he got chose. That's how we end up here today. So, shoot, where was I? Let's get back into the video.
Yeah, he's the one with the money. That's what you said, right?
You said that. You trying to put emphasis on shit. You can't put that in my mouth.
I just love these witnesses.
I'm ready to go, man.
I'm ready to go.
I'm just being real, man, because this ain't got nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm. So now this is like day 2 of this man saying this has nothing to do with me, I want to go home. If I'm a juror, I'm irritated as hell.
How you all drive, right?
I don't even know who that is.
And tell Detective Dennis that OG Benton's Instagram is OG Benton, right?
How would I know that? If I don't even know who to do that.
And you keep expressing to the detectives that
Kaylee asked, did Love get reprimanded or something? Because this guy in Hilton.
Why would my name be in
and I see
anybody's
Love just looking mad.
They make it make.
I don't think she got reprimanded. This is what I told Boleyn the other day. I said, these people have the benefit. I've never had this in a trial. I've never had the benefit of being able to go to YouTube or the news or whatever source on the weekend and get feedback on my presentation. Now, if I had that benefit and the feedback on my presentation was the type of feedback Miss Love would be receiving, because we've all been giving her feedback, she's way too harsh, she's a bully in front of this jury, it is not a good look. If she's getting that feedback, maybe she's doing a week timeout so she can come back reset as like a better person. I don't know. We saw her earlier this week. I think this is just not her witness. That's what I think it is. I don't know how the state divides witnesses. I don't know how any of that works. I've never worked for the government, and I never would. Here we go.
Since this is not my case, my co-defendant is down the road with me. He got the same sentence I got. We both pleaded out to the same thing.
Oh my God.
So my name ain't no paperwork. Feel me?
Mr. White, you tell them that what you're saying is, if they write your name on the shit, and somebody gets locked up under that shit, what if someone comes to my mom's house getting shot? Those are your words, right?
Okay, so he must have said on the 911 call that he didn't want to be given information.
When I told him,
Stop. Objection?
Yes.
What did he say?
I'm going to overrule the objection, but let's move on.
No surprise the objection was overruled.
when I tell you,
I'm glad this judge finally telling people to move on. This is the first time we've heard him do that. Judges in Dallas tell us to move on all the time.
I stand the objection. Let's move on from that.
He didn't even have to object. The judge just say that.
my mom ain't got nothing to do with it.
Steele
Keep
didn't
her
even
mom
stand
out
up.
Now, while in the car, Mr. White, after looking at the lineup, we're explaining that
Oh yes, K-Way. Fannie Willis was a defense attorney for YSL Mondo. You're right. And he is one of the leaders, and big surprise, not indicted here.
Right behind it, but how if you're a partner drives.
All right, here comes Mr. Steele. YSL
That's
Steele.
not evidence, Your Honor.
I'm going to overrule the objection. Let me just see where this goes.
We were aware that Jeffrey Williams was touring throughout the United States, the southern part of the United States, in April 2015.
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis.
Touring on the southern part of the United States is shooting facts on that.
It's not facts, not an evidence. He said, are you aware that he was touring? That is not facts, not an evidence.
I'm gonna
That's a
overrule the
ridiculous
objection.
objection. I'm glad
You
the
answered
judge
the question.
actually
Did you know he
overruled
was
a
touring?
ridiculous objection. Thank you, Judge. Congratulations.
I don't know his tour date, but I mean, I know he's a celebrity, so he probably was touring.
Do you know whether at that time, if you remember, if you don't remember, just say I don't know. But Jeffrey Williams at that time, or Young Thug at that time, was touring with another artist known as Travis Scott.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of
Name
foundation
drop.
based on the witness's previous answer.
Name dropping.
I'm gonna overrule the objection.
YSL Steel is so cool. I'm like such a fangirl of these lawyers. Like I watch them day in and day out. I see them stand up to the judge and make arguments back to him, and we're gonna get to that here in a minute. And I just like, oh, they're so cool. I think about that like, oh, they're so cool.
You
Maybe some other lawyers would see me in a courtroom and think I'm cool too.
can answer.
I think so. I don't know what city they was in.
That's right.
All
Now,
right.
you never told detective and whomever the detectives are, or anybody, that Jeffrey Williams was in any way involved in this April 12, 2015 incident. Is that true?
I never absolutely told.
Boom. Okay.
When you
So now we go on to
I-
Walter
I-
Murphy.
I don't
So
know
again,
how-
Walter Murphy is the same as DK. He's a co-indictee. He was allegedly a shooter at the scene that the guy who just testified, who didn't want to testify, just told us about. And then he also is allegedly a founder of YSL, and he allegedly robbed the Bennett girl who just testified even though she didn't want to. Now remember, he has a lawyer that is a mentee of Fannie Willis, and his plea deal is sealed. So we don't know, like with Tick, we knew he needed to testify. We knew those things. We watched Tick's testimony, and Tick, by the way, is Trontavious Stevens. We watched his testimony, and we said, oh shit, he violated. With this guy, we don't have the same luxury. Also, I do not like this head-to-toe jean outfit thing. It is not good for me. You're welcome, K-Waves. I'm happy to explain where I can, folks.
All
Okay.
right.
So, this is DK and Walter Murphy. Oh, which I wish I had got the clip, but the guy right before him, Mr. White, when the prosecution asked Mr. White if he knew Walter Murphy, he said, that sounds like a white name. Listen, if I were a juror on this thing, every night when I went home, I would immediately start typing up everything from that day. Like, here's what we heard, because I'm writing a motherfucking book. I'm getting some money off this. Pardon my language. All right. Here we go.
Okay. What did you call him?
Lil Jeff.
Lil Jeff.
Anything else?
Call him a lot of names, a lot of nicknames.
Okay. What are some of the other nicknames?
Prune.
Prune. That's funny. All right, so they ask him about some photos. They ask him why they wear red. Hold on, let's see if we get to the photo where they're in red. Here, he says, she asked him why they wear red. By the way, I think, I don't know, this is so freaking long ago. Like, these kids are at least 10 years younger in this photo than they are today. These were kids, and now they're adults. And he says that several times. She starts going through tweets he made. And he says, I don't know, like, I was a kid, I don't know what any of this means, I was just being extra. Here we go.
I don't answer that.
Okay. What are you doing with your hands?
You know what's crazy? I don't even know what that means.
Note the date, 2012. That's 12
you
years
just
ago.
take the
So this
picture
guy was
and don't
20
know
years
what
old.
it
So
is.
he's a child.
Yeah,
20-year-old.
It looked
Children.
fine
Child.
back then.
All right. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit to September 4th, January 10th, 2012. Do you see that tweet with the different hashtags?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that say?
That's like sexy money murder.
Okay. We'll go down to the next one on January
I don't think
4th.
I tweeted that.
Look how
They're probably in a girl.
Okay.
Black.
So that wasn't you, but it was someone else.
Zuckeroo, banging, sex, money, murder.
Okay.
This is not the language of an adult.
Who all had your password to your?
I ain't trying to put them fuck in it, but they had it up.
Okay. How many people had your password?
A couple.
When you say a couple, what's that mean? 2?
About 3.
When you have here on January 4th, 2012, what does that say?
On what day?
January 4th, 2012.
Says a bunch of nonsense.
But that banging sex money murder, I don't know what that other got a bunch of letters.
What is black?
I don't know. They're just saying, I thought it was cool, everybody else was doing it.
So
I
you
was
were just
a kid,
typing and hitting
I
the
thought it
white
was
was black
cool,
man?
and everyone else was doing it.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what was happening. This is your
Nah,
gang.
because why I
It's a
said,
bunch of kids
if I'm not mistaken.
being idiots.
And why did you, Little Jeff, and Lil Tick decide to form YSL?
Oh, here we go.
We wanted to rap. We wanted to.
Okay, so he says him,
Every rapper
Doug,
got like a
and
name
Trontavious
or
Davis
like a
are the founders. They
music
wanted to rap.
group or something behind them, and we wanted to have like that foundation.
All right. Now,
Okay.
okay, so now we're about to get into some real stuff here. Mr. Shard makes an objection, and the judge goes apeshit. It's ridiculous. Here we go.
All right. Mr. Short, I'm in possession of your motion limit, which you did remind me of yesterday,
Okay.
or initially say yes.
First of all, the judge has been telling him to forewarn him. This witness is on the stand today. This witness is not on the stand a year ago. This witness is not on the stand 40 days ago. This witness is on the stand today. Yesterday, in anticipation of this witness being on the stand, a motion in limine was filed to exclude some evidence they think is coming under this witness. That's exactly what this judge has been asking for. Now just watch how he flips his shit.
Yesterday. But how long have you had this particular tape or knowledge of these particular instances? That's my first question to you. You got them in discovery, correct?
Sir,
Did you get them in discovery?
yes, the prior.
Okay, then why are you just now, yesterday, telling me orally and not doing what you did in your motion so I could kind of take it up?
What I did
What? Like, that doesn't even make sense, that question. And he looks super confused for a reason.
do it in my motion.
No, you filed a motion, but you could have filed this thing months ago.
Your Honor, out-of-court statements are not admissible at trial.
Okay,
So I shouldn't even have to file a motion because it's an out-of-court statement and everyone knows it's inadmissible.
that's not what I asked you, okay? If you believed it was going to be an issue, you could have filed this same motion 3, 4, 5 months ago, correct?
Maybe.
It's not.
Yes or no?
No, he didn't have
If you want
time.
to say yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's my point. That's my point about being a forewarned judge is a happy judge, okay? Because we are now taking time out and
Okay, but here's the problem, and this is why Mr. Shard looks so upset, and he's about to get into it. The prosecution knows Shard has this motion in limine pending. A motion in limine is a pre-trial motion, so it's a motion that has to do with something that's coming up at the trial that needs to be heard before it comes up. Prosecution is well aware that this motion in limine is on file. They saw it yesterday. He's talked to them about it. The prosecution is now getting into questioning that's going to lead to the content of the motion in limine. It is therefore the prosecution's job to pause and say, okay, Your Honor, I'm about to get into this stuff for which there's a motion in limine. May we discuss that? Instead, Shard has to do all the work. For some reason, the onus, the burden has shifted from the prosecution to defense. That's not how this works. That is not how this works.
and I'm putting the jury in the back on something that you told me yesterday about, but you could have memorialized this in a motion more than 3 months ago. Probably.
But why? Because over and over again, this judge will hear a motion and say he'll rule on it later. So why memorialize it 3 months before? Why does it need to be on file with you 6 months before? You'll never make a ruling.
Last year, and I could have taken it up, and I could have ruled on this. I don't have any problem with that, but this is an example of something. If you want to do something like this, go ahead and file the motion. You should have filed it months ago.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
That's what I'm annoyed with.
Okay, in your honor, the state.
And that's what it means to be prepared as an advocate.
Okay.
The state's giving you this, okay? You knew about these.
The state.
You knew about this issue, right?
Perhaps the state, knowing that it's an issue, would not
Should
want
bring
to
it up.
admit
There we go.
evidence
There
of
we go.
an individual
Okay, then
being
the judge goes on
prosecuted
break.
I get it.
and a defense
And then they come back and they're like, look, we have issues with these things still.
Or
So on the break, the judge said to them, work it out. Now, here's the thing. If we could work this shit out, we wouldn't be in front of the judge, okay? I hate it when they do that. Oh, well, go talk in a room and work it out. I've had months, if not years, to try to work it out, and I haven't been able to. I'm in front of you because you're supposed to work it out for us. Ridiculous.
Mr. Harley has it down. It's a conclusory statement by investigator Gaither, I believe, in the August 18, 2015 motion there.
Okay, so the judge had threatened that they have to come in on Saturday to argue these motions. But instead, he decided that they could come in tomorrow, which would be Thursday morning. They would argue the motions in the morning, and then in the afternoon, the jury would hear testimony. Okay, so that was Wednesday. I'm telling you, it's been drama. But almost all the drama has been amongst the judge and the attorneys because of this pressure about how long the damn trial's taken. Well, let me tell you why the trial's taken so long. Because you take 30-minute breaks every 30 minutes. Because you've taken weeks off at a time. Because you're taking Friday mornings off for VA court. When we get to the end of testimony on Thursday, the judge outlines their schedule for next week. They're working like 3 half days. So the fact that Shard filed his motion in limine yesterday has nothing to do with the speed at which this trial is traveling. This trial is going forever because of you, Judge, because you're making us work half days, because you have veterans court on Fridays, because you are making all these allowances for people to go to doctor's appointments, etc. You, Judge, you. So that is frustrating. I'm sure the attorneys are at their wits' end, and I'm sure they're like, Jesus Christ. This is the 17th week, and I want to murder this judge, and I still have at least 52 more weeks to go. I feel for these guys. I really do. $1 million is not enough for this. Just, it's not, you guys. Like, can you imagine that we have to go in and then basically be verbally abused and assailed by a judge, you know, who's supposed to have some kind of like honor or something, and then we're getting abused by our clients because they're never happy. You know, we wanted this or we want that, and you know, you're coming to a lawyer because you're unhappy already. It's not like you're coming to a lawyer for feel good stuff, unless you're doing like an adoption, and that is really feel good, and I love doing those. But you know, like, none of this stuff is fun, and these judges can be quite abusive. You see him yelling at Shard at the defense, when in reality, the prosecution has the onus to bring this shit up. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, let's just go back. I'm gonna wind down here. It's been an hour. You guys are probably sick of my voice.
A lot.
A lot.
That I regret.
You regret? All right. About how many tattoos you have?
I ain't never counted.
So we're gonna talk about a few of them. Okay? All right. In the front of your face, you have a tattoo with the letters DK.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this guy is tatted everywhere. He said he got his first tattoo at 14. Ridiculous. Before he came in the morning, they had motions hearing Shard and the lady and blah, blah, blah. You know, we knew that was going to go down. So now this guy, he's been getting tattoos since he was 14. And here we go.
And when did you get that tattoo?
Well, I cannot remember.
Was that one of your first tattoos?
USMC, Be More. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining to you why you have to pay a lot of money. Because we go get beat up for you. We're like paid boxers, all right? So, like, when people scoff at the money attorneys charge, well, like, now you see why. Because we're getting beat up everywhere. It is a very difficult and challenging job. But it is very, very fun.
I don't even remember my first tattoo. I've been had it. I can't find a picture or nothing. My mama don't even got a picture with me without it.
Okay. So about how
To me,
old
that's a
were
little
you
bit
when you
sad.
got the tattoo?
Look at this.
No, I started in tattoos.
They go on break at 3 hours 37. They come back. Hold on, where are they coming back? Let's see. At 5. 5.
That I got caught with the one.
So your hour-long break took an hour and a half. And why again is this trial taking forever? What? I don't understand, huh? Ridiculous. Because of you, the judge.
On the principal.
Was that a robbery? That you went to prison?
That was a crime.
I'm talking specifically about robberies.
Ask the question again?
Sure. With the robberies that you have you committed any robberies with any other YSL members?
No.
Okay. I like DK, but he plays dumb all the time. He asks her to repeat the question because he's lying and he's buying time to make up an answer. Sometimes he's not processing it. Part of that is because he knows he has to lie, so he is anticipating and he's not able to process as quickly. But he goes on and he says, that YSL started as a music group and then it became maybe a gang, and he just called himself a Blood, and then he was accused of being a Blood, and that's about it. So he keeps going on the stand. It's really not that inspirational or exciting. And then the judge comes to outline their schedule.
30, and we'll go to about 1:45. One of your members has a doctor's appointment. And then that.
You couldn't make your doctor's appointment on an administrative day?
Friday, I've already told you this, when the court has Veterans Court, independent of these proceedings. So you'll report at 12:30 for a 1 o'clock start time. We'll go to 5 o'clock. I'll give you the week thereafter, starting on the 22nd, later in this coming week. But I have put on your radar already the 25th and 26th of April are administrative days.
Okay, so he just goes on and on about all the administrative days, and there are quite a few administrative days coming up. The days they're going to work half days, the days they're going to do this, and I'm just shocked that he doesn't see that he's the reason for these delays. It's like, we talked about this last week, like, it's like, do you even hear yourself speaking? Who knows? This case is an absolute shit show. I have enjoyed watching every moment of it. I have laughed and not cried ever, but thought very deeply that if I were a tax-paying citizen in Fulton County, Georgia, I would be crying, because what a waste of my money. So thank you everyone for joining me today on this recap of week 17. I will be back next Friday around 10 a.m. Central Time to recap week 18, which is just going to be a week full of half days. It's crazy. You can call that a week. Week 18. It's just nuts. The OJ trial, they work like 5 days a week, all day. Like 9 months of 5 days. These people, yeah, it's been months and months, but they've taken more breaks than, I don't know, people who takes lots of breaks. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. I'm Lauren Cadillac, and I hope to see you next week. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Thanks for everyone who messaged. How did you pass law school with that many breaks? You actually get quite a few breaks in law school, if I'm honest. So court is the only place you go back to high school. You got like that, you're supposed to have a rigid schedule, but there's no rigidity in this guy's life, or schedule at least. So, all right.